Okay, can I have your attention, please? Let's give another round of applause to our band. All right, they're going to be in the Circle City Classic Parade this weekend, so we wanted them to have an opportunity to perform before their peers for just an opportunity. All right, today we have a special treat for only our juniors and seniors. Who can tell us what this week is? It's College Go Week, and Mr. Brackus and his team have done a great job. We have posters around the school, but Crispus Attucks was selected as a kickoff for the entire state. And they asked if they could come and just talk a little bit this morning about going to college. And not just talk, but we also have treats for everybody. And we have a few people that we're going to present and talk with you for just a second. So if we could give our undivided attention to our guest, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Brackus, and he's going to MC. And he has a couple of really exciting opportunities for our students. So thank you in advance for your attention. And here's Mr. Brackus.
All right. All right, you guys. You guys know it's College Go Week. Seniors, what are you working on right now? Applications, you better believe it. Many of the colleges throughout the state this week are waiving application fees. That's a big yay. All right, juniors, what are you guys planning on? What are you guys planning on doing? Besides getting through your next class and going to class on time every day. In the spring, there's something I want you to do. You know what that is? These seniors can tell you because they heard it all last year. You're going to register to take your SAT or ACT this spring, okay? That's just one of the things I want you to do. All right, so this is an exciting week. And we have a very, very special guest with us today. I bet you don't know who she is. She is responsible for those bags that you got. She was responsible for the other giveaways that we're going to have. And she does a lot more than just give stuff away, although we do appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, let me have your undivided attention, and let's have a warm welcome for the Commissioner for Higher Education for the state of Indiana, Ms. Teresa Lubbers.
Good morning. We're delighted to be here with you today to shine a light on the importance of education beyond high school. And as was mentioned, we picked Attucks because we think this is the exact school to do this. We know that there are a lot of first-generation students here, and we know it's important for you to understand what you need to do to be prepared. This has been already, school hasn't been in session very long, and you've had an exciting time. As I understand, just last week, U.S. Secretary of Education Arne Duncan was here on behalf of President Obama to talk about the importance of education. And now we're coming quickly behind him to reinforce that message and to talk about some other things as well. What we want is for college not to be a surprise to you. And when I say college, I want to make sure you understand that we're talking about quality degrees and credentials beyond high school. We want many of you to go to four-year institutions. Some of you will choose a two-year institution. Some of you will get a workforce credential. But what you have to understand, and maybe your moms and dads won't even understand this as well as you do, is the world has shifted and changed dramatically. And the days in which some of us grew up, in which even an 8th grade education was enough to have a meaningful career, and certainly a high school education would be enough, are increasingly those job opportunities are diminishing. Every year, the opportunities for people who only have a high school degree are going down. Now, you could leave high school and go directly into the workforce, which many of you may choose to do, but you need to have a diploma and a workforce credential. And what I'm here to tell you is that I want more of you to aspire to go to college. There's absolutely no reason why that shouldn't be in your bucket list. And if you do what you need to do right now, and what that is work hard every day in school. Take the hard course, not the easy course, because that's what will prepare you when you show up on a college campus. But if you do that, and I hope many of you are 21st century scholars, if you do that, we will make sure that financially you can afford college. And so either through grants or loans or savings, it will be possible for you to go to college. Don't think that it won't be. You do your work, we'll do our part to make sure that we can help you get there. And I know a lot of you are doing that already. I mean, I think the participation in band, for example, it's not just what you do in the classroom, it's your extracurricular activities as well that matter when people look at those applications and you go to college. Indiana needs you to go to college, because our economy depends on more people who have these degrees. And if you want to have opportunities to take care of yourself and your family that you will have someday, you need to do that as well. So we couldn't be more excited to be here with you today. You know, we have a strategic plan for higher education in Indiana called Reaching Higher, Achieving More. And that's what we want you to do. We want you to reach higher, and we know that you can achieve more if you do that. I have the privilege today to actually acknowledge that some of you are well on your way, and we are actually giving today 50 small scholarships to some of the highest performing juniors here. You know who you are, so would you raise your hand or stand up so we could acknowledge you? Do you know? Oh, we're going to call your names, I guess, later? Okay, well, maybe you don't know yet. If you do, anyhow, we're going to give you the honor of actually calling your names as well. You know, this is not a large amount of money, but it is an indication of the fact that you have done something well already and you're investing in what you're going to do next. So, again, I'm going to reiterate the fact that your job in school is to work hard. Our job is to make sure you can financially afford to go to college. And if you're academically and financially prepared, you'll not only get there, but you'll achieve what is the real prize, and that is completion. At the Commission for Higher Education, we almost harp on this discussion about completion, because for a long time, and we still need to be focused on making sure you can get to college, but getting to college and not completing is not what you want to aim toward, because then you may well have debt and no degree. So don't think about just getting to college, think about completing college. And we will, again, help to make sure that's possible, as your principal and your teachers and everyone here are working to make sure that you're academically prepared. So again, on behalf of the Commission for Higher Education, the state of Indiana, I just challenge you to keep up the good work and believe that college is possible for you. We need you to believe that. And so now it's my pleasure, my boss, really, he's the chairman of the board for the Commission for Higher Education, Dennis Bland. Some of you may be familiar with Dennis. He also runs the Center for Leadership Development. He keeps me on the straight and narrow, and I'd like to introduce him to you now so he can share a few of his thoughts with you too.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Lubbers. I would like to first of all say thank you all for having us here this morning. Principal Franklin, thank you very much for having us here today. We appreciate you all being such gracious hosts and hostesses. How you all doing this morning? Let's show some love for the band. My remarks will be brief, but I'll just ask a favor of you. Just listen to me. Every time I come to Attucks High School, just a personal story, every time I come to Attucks, I almost become transformed when I learn about the history. It really is interesting to me. What an incredible history. In fact, I was at CLD over the summer, and I'd gone into the lobby of our center, and there was a man sitting there, and I introduced myself, and he said he was from Gary, and I said, how's everything going? He said, everything's fine, I'm waiting for my granddaughter to get out of the class. And then he says, which really blew my mind, what did he say to me? I'll tell you. He says, and I guess he's about 85 years old. He's walking on the cane. He says, I would like to go and visit Attucks High School. He says, I'm from Gary. I'm here to visit my daughter and my grandchild, but I would really like to go and visit Attucks. And I said, it's right down the street. And I said, what is this business about Attucks? That people come from all over the country to want to visit this school. And then you start looking at the people who graduated from Attucks and what they were able to accomplish. And not just what they were able to accomplish, but what they were able to accomplish against so much adversity, difficulty, strife, racism, haters. And yet, achieving to the highest levels, nationally, internationally. So it makes me think about this history, and then it makes me think about you. They made history right out of this school, sitting in some of the same seats you're sitting in. My question to you is, what kind of history are you going to make? And what we're finding out is that a whole lot of people who are making history these days are people who have found their way to a college campus. You think about it, Barack Obama went to college. Jesse Jackson went to college and graduated. That's not hating on those who did not. People find different ways to be successful. If you're finding out today that the majority of the careers that are available today, they are telling us that people have to have an education beyond high school. So I ask you all the question, what kind of history are you going to make? Our desire is that everybody who is sitting here in front of us today will go to some school beyond high school. You'll enroll, you will prepare, you will perform. That means you're handling your business. You will achieve and you will succeed, just like it has right here. Prepare, perform, achieve, succeed. Would you repeat that with me? Prepare, one more time, please. Prepare, perform, achieve, succeed. So I'll leave you with this question. Show of hands, how many people are planning on going to college? Hands down. Show of hands, how many people plan on graduating from college? Very good. So what kind of history are you going to make? I want you all to know this as I take my seat. When you go to class, you're making history. When you fight in the locker rooms, you're making history. When you leave campus and go to Starbucks or go to Hardee's, try to get me a burger, you're making history. And then when you make an application to IU, to Purdue, to DePaul, to Ivy Tech, to Harvard, to Yale, you know what they're going to ask you for? They're going to say, I'm so glad you applied to my school, but you know what? I'd like to see your history. Please send us your transcript. We want to see your history because you're from Attucks High School and you are rich in history. How many times did you show up to school? How many times did you cut class? How many times did you fight and cuss out the teacher? I want to see your history. You're history makers. You go to Crispus, Attucks. That school was named after a person who was the first person to be killed to get freedom for this country. Took a bullet so people could have freedom. Are you walking in that history? Or are you shaming that history? What's your history? You all have a chance to make history, make it a great history. But I tell you, everything you do in this class every day that you walk into this school, you are making history. and people are going to ask to look at the history that you helped create. When you're handling your business in school, it's a good history, but it will be on the record. If you're not handling your business, that too will be a part of your history. It will be on the record, and it will be history for other people to come and see later. I hope you will be great history makers. Thank you all for having us.
Thank you, Ms. Bland, for those inspiring words. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you are here in the auditorium this morning, I want you to stand up right where you are. Just stand up right where you are. Kayla Hawthorne, Marlene Martinez Calderon, Tamara Johnson, Danielle Dodson, Rashad Woodard, Dewan Johnson Bay, Marie Taswell, or Deja Taswell rather, Rebecca Bernard, Caitlin Luke, Abigail Chu, Onicia John, Chantel Bland, Samara Bolden, Josiah Herndon, Ladina Daniel, Renisha Smith, Rachel Pena, Ruth Mendoza, Kayla Moore, Cervante Taylor, Jaywan Leishman, Josue Cuellar, Shayla Holder, Chanel Green, Michaela Russell, Ryan Rose, Stacy Johnson, Erica Ballard, Maria Tiburcio, Donisha Austin, Brianna McIntyre, Mackenzie Kruger, Tatiana Bigsby, Brianna McCoy, Zachary Sandifer, Brenda Sanchez, Kenneth Billings, Tasha Pulliam, Leslie Medina, Adua Sababu, Aliyah Arahu, Lamar Willis, Jordan Matthews, Angelique King, Sydney Cobbs, Nadia Price, Ayana Duncan. Woo! All right. These folks are going to be recipients of the scholarship that was mentioned earlier, the $25 for the 529 plan, which is a savings plan for college, folks. You folks that I just mentioned, those names I called, stay afterwards. And ladies and gentlemen, we're not done. We have something else for you. We have a gentleman here, Mr. John Thompson, and he has something special for you as well. So let's put it together for Mr. Thompson.
Okay. Good morning to everyone. It's been an exciting morning. I was very pleased to see your band out here giving me a preview before the parade. I really enjoyed that. So you've heard a lot about college today, and I'm so happy to hear that so many of you have plans of attending college and, most importantly, completing college. I'm not here to speak today, but I must emphasize to you that college transformed my life. Transformed my life from abject poverty, just so poor you could not believe it, to achieving everything that I wanted to achieve. And being able to, as it was said earlier, take care of my family that many of you will have, but also take care of my family that you already have. Your parents, your grandparents that haven't had the opportunities that you have, you know, siblings that may not achieve all that you achieve, but they'll have kids that need leadership, care, and financial help. And there's a whole host of careers out there that many of you haven't learned about. Opportunities that will open up to you because of the preparation that you're doing here today and that you'll do in college. And so I'm actually here to hand out to those of you that would like to go to the Circle City Classic on Saturday to hand out some complimentary tickets so that you can do that. And maybe make a day of it. You go see your band perform in the morning. you stick around for the pep rally and all the other activities downtown, and then attend the game at 3 o'clock. 2 historically black colleges, Central State and Kentucky State. Neighboring colleges in neighboring states. They're playing. You'll get a sense of what college life is about. It's not all study, but study is the important thing so that you can graduate and graduate with knowledge. And also the pleasing learning that you get in college. You know, it sets you up for ongoing learning. Every day I'm studying something. And you might say, what do? I own 4 companies here, based here in Indianapolis, and then I have other companies across the state that are based in other parts of the state. And I was able to accomplish that with education. So I want to see many of you go on to fulfill your dreams, but certainly go to college. When you graduate, attend some school. And the last thing I'll say before we get to the ticket portion, President Obama have started something called Heads Up. And you can follow it on Twitter. And Arnie Duncan, I know, was here visiting last week, and that was a proud moment to see him here at Attucks. And Heads Up it's a program to go pre-K to 14. There was a time when it was K through 6, then K through 8, then K through 12. And there are many of us in this country that believe that we're at a place where it should be pre-K through 14, and it's paid for. Anyone that want to go to school, you have to go to school through 12, but we will pay for you to go through 14. Now that's not in place yet, but there are many of us working on that. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Principal Franklin, and so that we can start to hand out tickets to those that would like to attend the game.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, for time's sake, what we'd like to do is, if you like a couple tickets to the football game, which that sounds pretty exciting to me, you might have to beat me in the front of the line. But anyway, go ahead and stop by Ms. Franklin's office, and we'll make sure you get those tickets. Anything else? That's it. And at this time, ladies and gentlemen, for those individuals I mentioned earlier, I need you to stick around for just a moment. Everyone else, we'd either pick up our tickets or go to class, folks.